Hello and welcome everyone to the Gold and Silver Club weekly commodities review for the 29th of May 2015, presented by myself, Phil Carr, at the Gold and Silver Club. Today we will be reviewing the latest developments in the commodities markets. We'll be analysing the week's performance. The live session will be covering an overview of the commodities markets. We'll be covering the top trades of the week. We'll also be covering live market commentary, technical analysis, and of course answering any questions you may have. So let me introduce you first of all to the Gold and Silver Club. The Gold and Silver Club is an international commodities trading, research and advisory group specializing in the precious metals, energies and agricultural markets. We're recognized as the leading go-to authority on commodities, and as internationally respected experts, our analysis and opinions on the metals, energies and agricultural markets are routinely sought by major financial television channels, publications including Bloomberg, Reuters, CNN, Global Banking and Finance Review and the Wall Street Journal, to name a few. Our team of experts has advised and taught technical analysis, fundamental research, portfolio management to more than 50,000 private and institutional clients worldwide. For further information on the Gold and Silver Club and our expertise, very simply go to www.thegoldandsilverclub.com. Right, so before we get started, we'll take a look at the gold price. Gold is currently trading at $1,190 per ounce. So we'll have a look at the technicals very shortly and we'll see how we can start to assess the markets for the US session this afternoon. So first of all, we'll go through the top trades of the week using the Gold and Silver Club signature trading strategies. So we've had some nice opportunities this week following on from the bank holiday weekend. We saw some great selling opportunities across the precious metals and agriculture. First of all, earlier on this week, we got into a sell short on the 25th, just on Monday. We broke down with gold, broke a major support zone, and we profited 180 points on our sell short on gold. We've also broken down very nicely this week on week 2. We had a sell short opportunity, a 210-point return after we broke a major support, broke through the weekly lows, and we've continued to break down. We'll take a look at wheat very shortly as well. And corn has also confluenced and followed the overall pattern of the commodities this week. Now, we're coming into a very bearish time of year. Typically, the end of May and as we come into June tends to be a weak time overall for the metals, for commodities, as we discussed on last week's session. We've certainly seen that play out this week. So we've also caught a 150-point return on corn so far as we continue to break down. So what we'll do, we'll go into the technicals. We'll have a look at the commodities, which are starting to give us some setups for this afternoon as we go into the US session, and really what we can expect as we go into June next week as well. So do note, today is the last trading month of May, and next week we will be going into Monday will be the 1st of June. I'll just talk you through what to anticipate for this time of year. So first of all, we're going to start off and we'll just have a look at the US dollar index. Okay, so with the US dollar index, we can see overall this week we had a strong breakout to the upside. We've broken down from a resistance channel which has been in play for a best part of about 3 weeks now, right through to mid-May here. We've continued to break down on the US dollar, and in the last week we've seen a really strong surge. We were anticipating this on last week's session, and it followed through nicely. We've had a good breakout this week with the US dollar, and with that we've seen pressure across corn, wheat, soybeans, and also with the precious metals such as gold, silver and platinum. Now we're at a decision point at the moment with the US dollar. We are a bit overstretched on the daily at the moment. You can see we're starting to break down ever so slightly just from the weekly highs here. We have broken through yesterday's low and also from Wednesday's low at the moment. So this afternoon will be very interesting. We have the US GDP announcement coming out, which is likely to provide volatility for the US dollar and also volatility for the precious metals. So we just take a look at gold now. So gold, we can see we've had a good breakdown over the last week. So we discussed this on last week's session. We've had a consolidation, and on Monday and Tuesday finally after the bank holiday weekend, we had a strong breakdown. You can see where we've got a nice V-shaped reversal pattern starting to play out, and we've just got a key level of support, a neckline to break through now. So what I would be looking at this afternoon is we may well get a little bit of a retest of the resistance channel here just on the daily. If you just have a look at the overall channel which we're forming on gold currently, you will see where we came down to 1,180 US dollars an ounce just yesterday. We bounced off the lower end of the trend channel, and we may get a retracement here just back up to the upper end of the trend channel, testing the weekly highs here, and from that point we could then see further downside again. So this is what we're looking for. Ultimately, we're looking for more weakness here as we go into June. We're looking to take out the weekly lows, and we're looking to start breaking down here and essentially really breaking through the May lows here as well, breaking through the 1170 zone. So this is what we're looking at in the short term. But for now, gold is likely to be volatile this afternoon. If we do get a retracement back up to the upper end of the channel here, this is going to be an event area where we may then see rejection and more downside. And if we look over at the other precious metals, we can see, for example, platinum right now has broken down over the last week. Very similar move to gold. We've actually broken through this support zone which has been in place going all the way back to mid-March, and you can see we're just sitting at this support zone at the moment. We've had a good breakdown on both gold, platinum, silver, and ultimately as we're coming into June here, we would be anticipating more weakness here in the precious metals, in platinum, in gold, in silver. So if we move over and have a look at silver, we can see as well, we actually managed to break down. We were looking at this last week. We've got a trend channel on silver which has been in play just going back to the end of April. We finally broke through the lower end of the trend channel just earlier on this week after the bank holiday weekend. We continue to consolidate. What I'd be looking for here is again the potential to break down significantly on silver. You can see we've got a nice V-shaped reversal pattern starting to play out. So what we're looking for is further weakness here on silver as we go into next week. Now we may, if we do get a bit of a pullback on the US dollar today, we may spike a little bit higher here on silver, but ultimately we're following a new trend channel to the downside. We've broken below some key levels, and we're looking for more weakness here on the precious metals as we go into June. So that's what I would like to see play out at the moment as we started to break down through some major support zones. You can see overall we want to just break through the last week's lows here as well, and we should really start to pick up some good momentum to the downside here for silver. Similar situation to copper at the moment as well. Copper has been following trend channels very strongly. We've got a supportive channel which has been in place going all the way back to the end of January and the beginning of February. We are coming for a retest of that level at the moment. You'll see the price is actually just sitting at the lower end of that trend channel and awaiting a potential breakdown in price here. So again, we want to see how the US GDP data comes out and how it affects the US dollar this afternoon, but potentially we are looking for a breakdown opportunity here on copper as well. We've been supported by this channel going all the way back to late January, so we're just ricocheting between support and resistance at the moment. We're continuing to bounce off the lower end of the trend channel, and we're coming up to resistance, and we're just moving between these very parallel channels. So ultimately we're looking for a breakdown from this trend channel, and if we do get that, there is likely to be quite a significant breakdown. If you go over to the higher time frames, this is really going to start building up some strong momentum to the downside, and you can see we've got much larger trend channels on the larger time frames here as well. So copper, for me, definitely one to watch this afternoon as well, particularly if we see further weakness as we go into next week with the precious metals. Now, if we move over to the grains, so wheat and corn have continued to remain weak. We can see, especially quite recently over the last few trading sessions from going back towards the end of last week and also the bank holiday weekend, we saw the precious metals, and also we saw the precious metals close early, but also the grains were closed for the entire day on bank holiday Monday. When we saw the markets reopen on Tuesday, we had this huge sell-off, and this has been great just to take advantage of a retest of major resistance. We've broken down again, and we're coming up to a bit of a decision point here on the grains as well. You can see here on wheat, we do have a trend channel which we're just sitting right at the lower end of support right now. If we do get a breakdown below that key level, we're looking to take Wheat down significantly lower here, and especially as we come into June, again, typically a bearish time of year. So if we can break through the lower end of the trend channel, we could really start to pick up some momentum here to the downside. So definitely keeping a very close eye on wheat and also corn as well. Corn, we were looking at the pennant formation just last week. We had overhead resistance. We were forming a pennant, so we were getting lower highs but also higher lows. We continue to consolidate, and finally we've broken below that key zone this week, so we've been entered into a sell short, and we continue to break down. Now we may well get just a retest of previous support here, a goodbye kiss for the support channel, which now turns into a resistance channel, and just continue to sell off here for corn. So that's what we'll be looking at as we go into next week. It is worth noting as well on the precious metals, also on copper, some of the markets which have had a good move, so such as gold, silver, over the month of May. We're into the very last trading day of the month, 29th of May. So typically you will start to see positions get exited out of, particularly if some traders have been long for gold throughout the majority of May here. It is an opportunity for traders to start banking some profits on their trades. If we do start to see this escalate, this can provide overall weakness for commodities, because it's the last trading day of the month, and often that just closing out of positions from hedge funds, banks, can often cause more downside for the metals. So we'll be keeping an eye on that, and for commodities in general, which have had a good performance. We're certainly seeing that on oil. So if we move over and just have a look at WTI and also Brent crude oil, you'll see Brent crude oil has broken down nicely over the last week. We were looking at this pennant formation just on last week's session, and we've finally broken through the support channel, and we've come down all the way to a major supportive channel which has been in place just on the daily time frame, which is starting to build up right the way through to the beginning of May here. So we may well get a rotation in the short term. We've produced a rejection candle just at the lower end of the channel. We may get a breakout just towards the upper end of the trend channel, but then we're looking for more weakness again here. You can see we're getting a new channel which is developing on both Brent and also on light sweet crude oil. So both have broken down over the last 2 weeks here. We're coming back towards a resistance channel, and I'm looking for sell short opportunities. I'm looking to sell into weakness here on both Brent and WTI. So again, historically, we're coming into a weaker time of year for the commodities, and we're looking to take advantage of that. So we're going to be selling into strength here on any breakouts on the commodities this afternoon. So that's really the key setups we want to be looking at as we go into the US session and the US GDP announcement this afternoon. Again, you want to keep an eye, of course, on the US dollar today, and we'll be looking out for that inverse correlation. So that's really what you want to have a look at. And gold, especially interested to see whether we get a breakout back towards the resistance channel, and then look for more weakness here as we go into next week. Now, we do have some important announcements coming up over the next couple of weeks, which I definitely want you to have on your radar and also in your diary. So next Friday, of course, we've got non-farm payroll, which is likely to be a very high impact announcement. We've also got the OPEC a meeting for oil. So if you remember, going back 6 months ago to November OPEC meeting, we saw oil fall over 700 points in 2 days on that announcement, and then subsequently 1,500 points over the next 2 weeks. And we've also got Wednesday the 17th of June, the FOMC announcement. So we'll be trading these announcements live with our traders. So if you would like to join us in our live trading room to trade these live, very lucrative opportunities, particularly NFP and the FOMC announcement. Now, the June FOMC announcement historically is a big mover. Last year, we saw gold move 400 points in 24 hours. And in 2013, we saw gold move 900 points in 48 hours. So these are some really very lucrative trade opportunities that you definitely want to have on your radar. So with that, what we'll do, I'll just talk you through our live trading room and how that works. Okay, so very simply, if you would like to join the Gold and Silver Club for our live trading room, we get live analysis, live trading ideas, live support throughout the sessions. You can literally take all of the trades that we are taking live during the sessions. To join the Gold and Silver Club live online trading room, you need to go to www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com. Enrollment is by application only. Just complete the enrollment form and we'll get in touch with you ASAP. To enroll, very simply, go to www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com. And for those of you who would like to join us for the non-farm payroll for trading OPEC and also the FOMC announcement in June, June's going to be a very lucrative month. We look forward to welcoming you to the Gold and Silver Club. So again, very simply, to apply to join, you just want to go to the enrollment form. It will take you less than a minute to fill out. www.jointhegoldandsilverclub. Okay, perfect. So I wish you all good trading for this afternoon, guys. For those of you who would like to join us for our live trading room sessions in June, do get in touch, and we look forward to see you on the next session. Okay, so have a great weekend, and we will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.